And the Parsha, Bezrat Hashem Yitbarach, we have in this week's Parsha, the Parsha of Ammon and Moab. The Gemara in Masechet Sanhedrin says, Gedola legima. Rabbi Yochanan said, Gedola legima, great is legima. He said couple of things from his Rebbe, Rav Yosef ben Kisma, that legima is a very great thing. Legima means to give a little bit of food. Great is the giving of a little bit of food. Okay, giving somebody a little bit of food, because it does so many great things, a lot of credentials. People build their credit. And he says at the same time, people who don't give that minimal, partial amount of food, it makes you lose your total, all the credits you have. You find out for Ammon and Moab, Rahmanut, what happened to them? They were our cousins, if you think about it. And they came to a point of losing their ability forever to enter Klal Yisrael. Why? Because they refused to give food to Klal Yisrael. Jewish people asked them in this week's Parsha, please give us permission to go through your land. What they say? Chas v'shalom. Don't come through. We don't want you. We don't want. He says, what's the big deal? I will pay you. They even said, the first time King's Highway is mentioned in the Torah, it says, Derech HaMelech Nelech. Right? We will walk the way of kings. What is that? King's Highway. Right? We'll go through King's Highway. They said, don't come. Don't come, we don't want. And Chazal say, Al davar asher lo kidmu etchem balechem u'bamayim. Because they refused to give you a little bit amount of bread, a little bit amount of water. It came to be, they lost their opportunity forever to enter Klal Yisrael. Imagine what this is. So nice to see. I believed in Lakewood. In Lakewood, I saw a phenomenal thing. I don't know if it's ideal to do this in Queens, because I'll tell you what it was. In Lakewood, people didn't touch things don't belong to them. If it don't belong to me, I don't touch it. And the most interesting used to be summertime, especially when the weather used to get a little bit hot, and you're walking Shabbat day, or Yom Tov, you're walking, and you feel very hot and everything. You see somebody put a water cooler with a table before Shabbat. They put a table with a water cooler, water bottles, water coolers, ice, with ice and everything. And you're able to pass by, open the door, take a water bottle, cups with water. Gedola legima, you know what this is? Chazal say, mekarevet et harachokim. It makes those people who are far come to close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. To the extent, Gemara also says over there, mashra shchina al ovdei avodah zarah. It could make the holy shchina come to dwell where? Over the idol worshippers. You see Pesel Micha, right? Micha. He made as long as Mishkan Gilgal was standing. Mishkan was standing in Gilgal for Chazal say 369 years or something like that. Many years. It says at the same, it says they were only a parsa away. 4 miles away from Pesel Micha. The most funniest thing was, you saw them bringing korbanot to Hashem, them bringing avodah zarah, idol worship, and the ash used to rise up high. And eventually, they say that the steam, the smoke, used to mix together and go to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And it says the Malachei Asher got so angry. They said, Hashem, give us permission. We're going to go down and push this guy. You know how these guys come and they say, hey, what you doing? Push you like this. They wanted to push Micha. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, Hanichu lo, leave him alone. Leave him alone. You know why? Because all those people who are passing by, they give them bread, they give them water. It's a great thing, great custom. Bukharians, you see them. Droed, chinet, choret. Come in, sit down, eat. It's a big thing by them. And they, in a way, they're very pushy comes to this thing. But why? Where they learn this from? It's Chazal. It's a big thing to do, to push people, to invite people over. It's the best time to do. What you could do here in the area of Jamaica is fresh Meadows. People are walking on Shabbat. I bet you there are people who, especially those people who have diabetes, Rahman al-Islam, or people who have dialysis, or those people who are dehydrated because they're taking salt pills or whatever it is. They would love to have a cup of cold water. Don't put a table outside. Put a water cooler outside. Promise you nobody will steal it. You're doing a mitzvah. Anybody passes by, you say over there, Shahakol niya bidvalo, Bodeh nefashot, print out. People pass by, they say the brachot, zechut. You could put Lilu Nishmat over there, or Sefuah Shlema, or something for zechut, something. It's a big thing to do. And I think if we learn to do this, we'll become a little bit more humane, as they say. Maybe if we do chesed with one another, something which is that nobody would even think of, would only come to a point of becoming closer to one another. Chelavechtas will come to become humans. It's something. It's a big thing to do. It's very important. Another thing I would like to speak about is, should be mentioned, not I want to speak about, but must be mentioned. People have to understand something. This concept of kites, summer. Summer people believe is vacation time. There's no concept of vacation. The total vacation is, open the Gemara, learn something easy, quickly. You want vacation? Sit down, learn a fast parak. Sit down, learn Mishnayot. Loosen up a little. Why not? It's a good idea. But it doesn't give permission to waste time. Waste of time is the biggest avila of Torah. A waste will never come back, Rabotai. The Gemara Masechet Chagiga, which Rabbi Chaim Eagle learned with you. It says over there that Ben Hey asked, what does it mean, Muvat lo yuchal litkon? Something which is bent out of shape, will never be fixed. A waste. A waste is something which is eternal. It's a loss forever. A lot of people, for some reason, they feel like, you know what? I need a vacation. I need to loosen up a little. Your vacations need vacations, Rabotai. You come back more tired than ever. A lot of people go on vacation. I say, no, did you enjoy yourself? He says, I walked the whole day. Vizdin, I brought my shoes with me, special shoes, not to walk, to be comfortable, because I would not stop walking for days. And I say, Haram, what are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah, you find people, kids who constantly go on vacations. They're always bored. I won't do something. What do you mean you're bored? I say bored. I don't understand you. You're bored? Go to Chesed. You're bored? Go learn. Go help out your grandparents. Go help out your grandchildren. Go do something. I say bored. You know what's bored? I tell you what real bored is. But utilize your time. I recently had to find out that one of somebody, not far, had to be in the hospital for a week. Because he's not a learned person. Not a learned person. And because we know that the government mandates, right, that they tell the hospitals, no vaccine, you cannot enter. Vaccine, you enter to visit to see the sick person. No vaccine, can't get in. He says, I was bored. I did not know which wall to hit myself. Bored. And I said to myself, had you been a learned person, you would say Mishnayot by heart. Had you been a learned person, you would be able to take a sefer with you, read something. This is bored, real bored. The biggest bored thing you could do is go to find how to waste your time. I'm not chas v'shalom to going against this concept of going to vacations. Going to vacation, first of all, going to vacations to inappropriate place, and you know very well what's an inappropriate place. I don't have to tell you. Is going to places which are not something that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is pleased with. How can we go and anger Hashem? We're going to places, Chazal, next week's Parshat Balak. It says openly, Elohim shel elu soneh zima. Hashem does not like promiscuous behavior. It says, you know, I'm embarrassed to go to some weddings. I'm embarrassed to go to some balitot. Embarrassed. But you tell me you're willing to go on vacation, to go to, I don't want to mention those names. They very close to spelling of Gimel, Hey, Nun, and Mem, which spells Gehenom. That's very close it is. Again, this is not a proper thing to do. You want vacation? I give you the best advice. Vacation, pay your in-laws, pay the grandparents. Say, do me a favor, watch my kids for 2-3 days. Lock yourself in the house. Just relax. Just relax. The biggest vacation, I promise you. You know what's called being sleep deprived? All of us, Baruch Hashem, are deprived of it. Those people who have little kids and those people who have big kids. We're always famous rule. Somebody said to me one time, he says, little kids, little problems, big kids, big problems. And that's a true statement, by the way. And I always tell people, one time I was walking by on the street somewhere, Rabbi, guy comes over to me, 47th Street. Rabbi, yeah, don't kunet. I think you have bracha. I said, you should sleep well at night. He got offended. He says, sleep well at night? What kind of bracha is this? I told him, are you for real? Only those people who are able to sleep well at night are those people who have no problems. It's those people who have children are sick, those people who have little babies in the house. It's those people who are, you know how much deprivation there is, lack of sleep. About the best vacation is go do something nice. You have so many big tzaddikim you can go visit. Take a look, Baruch Hashem. Could say out loud, somebody in the community was smart. While everybody ran to go everywhere, one person was smart enough to fly to Israel. Went to Eretz Israel, Eretz HaKodesh, Holy Land. Just being in the land, just breathing the air, just walking 4 steps. Chazal say, anybody who walks 4 steps in Eretz Israel, has Kedushat Eretz Israel, is Zoche Lechaya Olam Haba. You know what Chazal say, that people who are in Eretz Israel, direct contact with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. As Chazal say to us, we see Pashat Ba'ar B'chukotai tells over there, he says, Kol Adar Ba'aretz, Kimish Yesh Lo Eloah. Somebody who lives in Israel, it's as if he has Hashem. But those people who don't live in Israel, talking about us, it's as if we don't have Hashem. Why? Because in Israel, Parnasah comes directly from the hand of Hashem. Chutz la'aretz, Parnasah comes through a messenger. Yani, you have to bend the malach. Make sure you don't make mistake with the address. Yeah. In Israel, you could tell Hashem, please make sure it comes to the right address. I shouldn't be speaking that way. But in Chutz la'aretz, you have to beg the malach. It's different. You have to make sure you're becoming close. Don't waste time. Waste of time. Rabotai, going to the airport. Airport is full of pritzut. Full. You want, you don't want. I think airports should replace their name called Yeshivat Malbish Arumim. A yeshiva where they dress the naked. It must be replace the name. Haram. You look over, you don't know where to look. You just want to close your eyes and say, why do I have to go through this? And people don't have. They're sensitized. They feel like, what's the problem? The famous story they had with, we'll finish with this one. Rab Elia Lopian, he had a student who wanted to go to a wedding. Tel Aviv, Yerushalayim, he wanted to go. Rab Elia Lopian told him exactly, where are you going to? He says, no, I'm going to a wedding. The rabbi said to him, but is it appropriate to go? He says, Rabbi, don't worry, I'll control myself. The rabbi told him, okay, you know what? I'm not in place to answer your question, but I have somebody who could answer your question. Here is a phone number. Ask him what he thinks. Whatever he thinks, you should do. The person picked up the phone. He said, okay. He took the phone. He dialed. The person on the other side picked up the receiver and said, doctor's office. So he got scared. He put the phone down right away. He said, must be Rabbi Elia made a mistake. Must be he made a mistake. He gave me the wrong number. He said, you know what? Maybe I dialed the wrong number. Let me dial again. He dials the phone again, you know, the old style. And lo and behold, again says, doctor's office. The guy put the phone down. He ran back to Rabelia. I think you made a mistake. You gave me the wrong number. He says, no, he says. I didn't make any mistakes. I gave you the right number. He says, but Rabbi, but it's the doctor's office. Exactly the point. He says, if you don't have a problem, must be something's wrong with you. So I said, if something's wrong with you, you must see a doctor. He said to him, when I go to Yerushalayim, I'm afraid and worried and scared, maybe I will see something inappropriate. He says, well, you tell me you're young, you're going to go to a relative's weddings and you think it's not a problem at all? I tell you like this, you lose a sect in, you see Havdalah, Ben Kodesh Lechol, Ben Or Lechoshech. You know, Gosh Baruch Hu made Havdalot, he made separations. You look at the sect, you go to Williamsburg, 1 block out of Williamsburg, you can't look at the street. As soon as you cross the border, you enter Williamsburg, you see everything is modest around you. Pleasure to see. Tzadikot, tzadikim, holy people. Summertime, they're smart. They know that the situation is going to worsen. They go vacation. But instead of going down south, where they go? They go up north. They go to Catskills, go to upstate, Menuchat HaNefesh, pleasure. You go to upstate New York, live, hundreds, thousands of people upstate New York, and it's a pleasure to go and see. You see a lot, even the ShopRite, brings all the kosher items. Once for 2 months, they bring all kosher. ShopRite. I was shocked. Swan Lake, I come there. Challah, yogurts, everything. Kosher. Pele Plaod. Rabotai, I promise you. Remember this famous saying. One rabbi said, if you want to please your children, or you want to please your wife, or you want to please yourself, you don't have to give that person who you want to please a lollipop that's the size of his face. A small lollipop will just do as well. A little lollipop. It's how you give it. It's how you say it to a person. It's the way you give it to him. You don't have to do crazy things out of ordinary. Don't look what others do. And if you have peer pressure, you think your friends will come and say, no. And where did you go for vacation? So you know where we went? You should have came to see where we went. We enjoyed ourselves. We rested up. You know what we did? We stayed home. Who's gonna know? Tell them we went somewhere you guys never dream of going to. And it's true. You're not lying. You stayed. Spend time with your family. Don't look for ways how to shut your kids, shut your wife, shut yourself, and not spend time with each other. Rabotai, you know, tomorrow they said when there was a hurricane in Florida, and internet stopped working. You know how many people had fights in the house? Because till then they all spoke to each other. They barely knew each other. They said, who are you? I said, what do you mean, who am I? Are you kidding me? Are you for real? Television, phones. They're not constructive. Let's not say the word destructive, but they're not constructive. If you're not building, you're wasting. If it's not productive, you're not getting anywhere. Do yourself a favor, please. I beg you all. Be smart. Don't go anywhere. Stay home. The best thing we could say to you, what are we doing for vacation this year? Something different. Out of the ordinary. We're all staying home. I locked the business. I locked everything. I want to spend time with you. I want to speak to you. I want to know what you do. I want to know how you do. I want to go together with you. Do something together. Why you have to always go somewhere where you don't do anything?